I.Eat.Games, yeah.
Hey Danny's Mark here, and we're working on Ida's Triada Relic, and this is actually part of a much bigger mission line that involves a secret cave called Oluwa Cave, and that you can get that in the starter island, the tutorial island. So if you don't have that, you can still do this, but if you want to go get that, you could head back to the tutorial island and just go around and talk to people, look for the little exclamation marks, and eventually it'll trigger for you and they'll tell you to go find this cave. But anyway, right now I'm going to try and get you through this treasure hunt for the first relic as accurately and as quickly as possible. So you're going to see me, fast forward, like climbing like vines and stuff like this, just so that we can get through this and move on to the next one. But this is a lot of fun. I like what they did with this. There's a lot of zip lines, and a lot of the caves look very similar, so it's super easy to get confused and lost. So I'm going to help you get through all of this and get the relic in a pretty speedy way. Okay, so we are near the top of the mountain here, and there's a cave entrance on the left. You can just ignore that for now. That's when we leave. We are going to enter the cave, and if you follow these arrows in the cave, they'll usually point you in a, well, sometimes it's confusing, and I think that's intentionally done, but they will generally point you in the right direction. So let's go ahead and squeeze L2, drop, and descend all the way down to the bottom, and here we are at the entrance. And there is some literature here, so go ahead and read that real quick. Now, once we've read that, we're going to turn to our right, and this is our first zip line. Now, they don't really tell you about this, but you zip line and you press the circle button to detach and land on top of another zip line to continue on. And so the first time I did this, I didn't do that. But you can see where it says detach, and that only flashed for me very quickly. So I don't know if that's something that's going to stick around for you guys for a while, but you're supposed to detach and land on that zip line. If you don't, it's okay. It's no big deal. What you can do is, if you're in this little area here, you can actually jump to that ledge, which is where the zip line leads anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. And then once we get over here, you can see there are more arrows pointing us in the right direction. So let's go ahead and follow these ledges that are painted yellow. Let's go ahead and jump up. And then we'll get up here again. And in the next chamber, there's going to be a bunch of zip lines, but I'm going to show you, it's easy to get confused by it all, but I'm going to show you how, with the correct order in which to use these zip lines to get to the exit. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk up here. Now, you're supposed to detach onto that zip line. So hit the circle button, and then there's another zip line. We're going to detach and land on this one. And if you fall or miss, it's not a big deal. You can work your way back up to the start and just keep trying it. Now, we got to this arrow. That's where we were. So let's turn to our right and take out that machete and smash this, or you can shoot it, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to go through this next chamber, and you can see that there are a series of little ledges here, painted yellow for us. Somebody lit some candles. That's great. And we're going to climb up here. I'm curious what you guys think of the game so far. I'm curious if this is something, if you're enjoying it, or if you're enjoying it less than Far Cry 5 or 4. Let me know in the comments. I would like to hear what you guys think. Okay, so the next zip line is right in front of us. There's no dropping or anything. We're just going to go straight across. There's an arrow pointing in this direction. If you look up, there is now a grapple spot. Right there, there's a little grapple hook. So we're going to use our grapple hook, latch on, and I like to just jump. And if you hit the circle button, you will detach, and it kind of will thrust you in the direction you're facing. So they make it super easy. Now, when you get to this spot, don't do what I do. First, shoot the planks before you ride the zip line. I did it in the opposite order, and that was not the right thing to do, because you kind of just smash into it. And then, okay, so once we get to the other side, I hope I'm not the only one that did that. Please tell me I'm not the only one that did that. We're going to look for this other grapple spot here. So let's go ahead and get close enough to get prompted, and we're going to use the grapple hook again. And then so for me, when I got across and I detached, it actually threw me onto the next zip line. So there is a ledge over here on the left where you can land, but it just auto attached for me right there. As you can see, I didn't even hit X. It just automatically attached. So heads up there. Now, you're supposed to drop down onto this zip line. If you do not, I'm going to show you what to do. If you end up on this little platform here, totally fine. If you land in the water, that's where you would work your way up. But if you see this zip line right here, you can just jump onto it. And I didn't have to hit a button, but you may have to hit X. And it will you'll go the wrong direction for a little bit from your momentum, but that's fine. We're going to zip down. And once you see this purple fire here, you know you're heading in the right direction. And down there in case we fall. But we're not going to fall. We're going to grapple onto that spot right there. Run and jump. And then let's detach. Awesome. Now there's another zip line. So let's go ahead and hook onto that. And go across here. Now I had a little bit of trouble here with these ledges. So I left it in case anybody else has these issues. But when you get to the top of this ledge and you shimmy over to the left, I did not get a prompt. You have to look a little more to the left or move yourself around. And then there the hand will come out and then you can jump. So hopefully you guys don't have any issues with that. But if you do, that's what worked for me. Now, that's where we came from. So let's go ahead and climb up the stairs. We're nearing the end. We're getting closer. Okay, so from here, this is, I believe, the final chamber. So go ahead and walk towards the end here. And then we're going to grapple. And the same thing is going to happen to me where I use the grapple, I detach, and it will thrust me onto the zip line. I try to take these things in steps, but that's just what happened. So it'll probably happen to you too, I imagine. But then we're going to land down here and auto-attach to that zip line, and we'll end up in this little alcove here. And you can see there are two zip lines. What they would like for you to do is use this zip line and then drop onto the next zip line, which is down below. But if you don't do that, that's okay too. What I ended up doing was using this zip line, and I sort of missed that, but that's okay. You can go to this ledge here, and then when you work your way up here to the left, there's arrows pointing, you can just jump over to this ledge, just like that. And then we'll use this zip line, and it'll take us all the way across. And we're close. We're so close, my friends. So pull yourself up onto this ledge, and you see that blue plank right there? Go ahead and walk up to that blue plank, jump up, and we can go one more. Now we need to go, you cannot go up anymore. You have to shimmy over to the left, turn all the way to the left, not up there, but down. There you go, right there. And then jump. We got to look for the yellow paint on the stones. And then, gosh, it just is really touchy. Couldn't quite pull myself up. Okay, so look to the right, and then when we get to the top, we are here, and here is our first relic. It might be your second or your third. It depends on what order you've done this, but this is the first relic. And let's go ahead and grab that. Now, I'm going to show you how to get out of here, because it can be tricky getting out of here. So let me show you that, but don't forget to pick up the relic first, and then you got to read this note. And we got to loot for the goods. Yep, you get Ida's sigil here, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so now to get out of here correctly, we're going to walk over to this zip line and then hit the X button. And so this is going to take you through this little hole, and now we're going to end up in the very first chamber. This is where we entered. And then from here, remember, this is where all the fun began, right there. So we're going to head back and then look for the grapple hook prompt, and there you go. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. It does help me out quite a bit. Thanks for checking out my video.